I almost never make videos like this where I respond to things that I've talked about before, but this has gotten so much traction that I think I kinda need to clear a few things. So, yesterday I made a video talking about an article about Elias Pettersson, and this article talked about how Pettersson's historical SHL season was lucky. The article used shooting percentages as well as comparables with other players' shooting percentages to present an idea that said that Elias Pettersson's season, albeit was really good, was certainly something that wouldn't be sustainable going forward. And this was a fair argument to me, so I thought that, hey, I'd make a video about it, showcasing this idea onto YouTube. But obviously, the response to that was a little bit different than I had intended and hoped for, seeing as the majority of people who saw the video thought that I was saying that Pettersson's got no skill, and he's all luck, and he's not going to succeed in the NHL. And first off, I'd like to establish that that's probably a mistake on my part, seeing as I spent the majority of the video stabilizing and reiterating the points mentioned in the article, and I didn't really provide too much of my own insight that responded to this idea of him being lucky, and instead just talked about what the article said. And I think that really did provide a hole in the video, to be honest, and any clear objective that would have been seen as being my own would have been blurred. And as a result, I think it's understandable to see why people thought my video was just, Pettersson is lucky, he's got no skill, and he was just a product of really unlikely circumstances. And so this video here is just to say no. I wasn't making a video to talk about why Pettersson isn't skilled at all. I wasn't making a video to say that Pettersson was entirely lucky and he wouldn't have had any of the success he had if he had something as simple as a lower shooting percentage. The main point that I agreed with was that a shooting percentage of 20 plus is unsustainable, and I believe that's so. There are a few arguments that could combat this, yes, I understand that totally. Players who are good find themselves opportunities to give themselves higher shooting percentages. Elias Pettersson is a pass-first, more than a shoot-first kind of guy, so when he does shoot, that means it's good. Elias Pettersson is just so skilled that he puts himself in a position to get that higher percentage. That's totally understandable, but to me, 20+% is unsustainable. And moving forward, the label of lucky that's being laid upon Pettersson that was supposedly definitively laid on by me is something that I wouldn't call Pettersson's season. I've said it a few times already, I think his season was unsustainable. But to call it lucky isn't necessarily what I would consistently call it every single day of the week. The reason I called it lucky in the video yesterday is because the video was a response to the article talking about him being lucky. Because the article talked about it, and because I was responding to the article, I used those words. The label of lucky isn't necessarily something I would coin or use myself, but seeing as it was the main premise that the article that I was responding to revolved around, it got recycled a bit in my video. I hope that makes sense, because I don't want people 2 months down the line to say, hey, you're the guy that said Pettersson's lucky, aren't you? I don't want to become a Matt Murray here, guys. And furthermore, speaking about Matt Murray, the Brock Boeser thing where I called Boeser lucky, really? Do I have to explain that? You just gotta laugh. You just laugh. But, all in all, I understand the controversy that was laid upon myself, and that I've kind of stirred myself into a pot due to this video. I think it was a clear mistake on my part to make the video without a solid foundation of points to build upon, and wherein I just talked about what the article said and repeated it. Put up some numbers on the screen, oh, Michael Linkfist got the highest shooting percentage, that's unsustainable too. But the bottom line here is, I don't think Pettersson is unskilled. I think that his high shooting percentage allowed him to put himself into a position where his season was just phenomenally fantastic, out of this world record-breaking good, but that's not me saying that he will get a lower shooting percentage in the NHL and he won't get as many points. That's not what I'm saying here. To say that he's lucky implies that he has no skill at all, which, I admit, it is a mistake on my part for me to have used that term so freely in the last video, but I think it should be understandable because that was the name of the article that I was responding to. And because that was the idea presented in that article, I thought it would be appropriate to use it a lot in my video. But overall, I wouldn't call him lucky. I would just say that it was unsustainable. And going forward, all we have to do now is just look as to what he will be able to do with the Canucks. And obviously, I don't think he's going to break any rookie scoring records in the NHL. I mean, that would be pretty nice, but I see him stabilizing out all expectations, and most people who are looking at this with a rational mind would say, yeah, 40-plus points is probably realistic here, and I'm no different. Pettersson is a great player with good hockey IQ and good hands. It would be foolish to say that he's not talented. But to say that his SHL season is a 100% accurate representation of his skill and everything that he possesses, to me, it's a little bit out there, because his shooting percentage was really high, and I don't think that's sustainable. That's what I think. But it doesn't mean that he's not talented. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Twitter, +link Gaming. Comment down below what I did wrong or whatever, what you think I could have done better, because if I'm going to be making videos, I don't want to be in a position where I make something, talk about something that I think is worth talking about, and having a whole bunch of people flooding me on Reddit, Discord, and the YouTube comments calling me an idiot. So, yeah, with that being said, bye.